Hey, Craig, let's get into some coffee talk.
Hey, I love it. I love doing some coffee talk.
Well, talk about what?
Dogs, daughters, whatever. It's coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Okay, this is Mr. Craig. In just a few minutes, we will have Mr. Jason on. We're doing another remote coffee talk because, well, we have been so freaking busy with our agencies and working on a couple other businesses and the podcast that we just haven't had time to sit down and do coffee talk. We did do some great interviews next week, so be sure to tune in. But in having so much to do and so many things and only so much time in the week, 168 hours, the same 168 hours that everybody has, whether you're Warren Buffett or Craig Pretzinger or Jason Feltman or whoever, you have the same amount of time. So what you have to do is manage that time most effectively, right? Limit the calls, limit the gotta minutes, limit all these things. But most importantly, find the right people to do the tasks that you shouldn't be doing. A lot of us like to be do-it-yourselfers and fix things. I do work around the house, do all that kind of stuff. But when you are at the office or you're working on your business, the last thing you should be doing is answering the phone, doing all these other little tasks that you can pay somebody 10, 12, 14 bucks an hour to do, and then ultimately move them up, replace them with somebody who can come in at a better rate, and so on and so forth. But today I was working a ton on setting up automation. Now, paying somebody to set up automation is extremely expensive. So at this moment, my time was best used creating the automation, which will then take place of somebody's workload so they can focus on something else. So we set up so many different things in the program that we're using to run our CRM, and I mean, the sky is the limit on what you can do. So even in your agency, regardless of what carrier you're with, regardless of who you do, what CRM you use, it's 2020. I think everybody knows it's 2020. But there's a lot of options out there that can really, really help to make you more effective, make your time better spent. Whether it's for when somebody's renewing, do you have an email going out? If you're able to text, do you have a text going out? Do you have an automated message going to the person who handles it to remind them to call for the renewal calls? Do you have birthday messages going out? You can have phone messages. If depending on who your carrier is, you could possibly have text going out. There's all kinds of things you can do that create tons of value for you and your agency, but don't take up your time, because there's no more important or precious resource than that time. So then you can focus on those things that you need to do, which may be policy reviews. I don't know. What do you like to do as the agent? Or do you like to work on another business, right? And free up your time so that this is just one of the spigots that your revenue streams are coming out of. Mr. Jason, my question to you is, what are some of the things that you do, and how do you try to offload things off of your plate and make your business run smoother without you being involved?
Ooh, I love this question, Mr. Craig. No, this is a good one because it's something that I've done this year that took me a while to do because I like being involved. But this year, I realized at a certain point that I needed to be less involved. And I need to be able to be okay with empowering others to make decisions and not stepping in and voicing my opinion when it isn't asked for. I think that people need, if you truly want someone to take ownership, and if you truly want someone to become a stronger leader, you kind of have to let them, because the more you interject when they make decisions, the less likely they are to keep making decisions, the more they're going to think about screwing up with those decisions that they make. And they keep relying upon you because you interject your opinion every time you kind of give them a task. So what I've done lately is I've just let like the results, the numbers, all that stuff be the test of everything. I don't care how it gets done. Just this needs to get done, and this needs to be the outcome. And let's try to avoid X, Y, Z. But being able to stand back and allowing others to make decisions and stuff has been awesome, because then you start realizing, oh my gosh, like I didn't even think about that. Like that's a cool way to do that. Yeah. And it's given me a lot less stress, because you start realizing that other people can do stuff as good as you, or maybe you don't think it's as good as you, but at least they're getting it done and the task is accomplished. But what I've realized is that they can do it just as good, if not better, in some cases, and it's awesome. And then you're like, oh yes, like it's such a win. And especially when that person gets so much joy out of it because you didn't throw your opinion in and then they just did whatever you wanted to do, and then it's more like your win instead of their win. So I think empowering others to really help them do their job without me interjecting, I think that has truly been something that that I will never not do again. Great question, Mr. Craig. Well, let's just have this be a short coffee talk. And I think that's it. I got my coffee talk mugs. So if anybody wants a coffee talk mug, yeah, we're out there we're going to put the website in the show notes. Also subscribe, please, to iTunes. And if you want to join the mailing list, please jump on. Let's do this. Coffee talk.
So solid, Mr. Jason. Thank you. And yeah, as it relates to empowering others, something that I've struggled with a lot too, relinquishing the reins and just having faith, having the ability to trust them to just do it. I mean, you know what? If we're not building airplanes, we're not performing brain surgery, something can get goofed up, and most of these things can be fixed. And I think you've said it before. What's the absolute, in the worst case possible scenario, what could happen? You lose a client. Well, if somebody learned and is able to then grow and be better, because you're not just constantly, hey, well, what if it is big. It's a big win. And it gives you so much more wiggle room to work on other things, right? Higher activity stuff. So thank you, Mr. Jason. Love it. We're going to wrap. I will make sure we get that link in there, and I trust you can do it. And if, like Jason said, please subscribe if you haven't. And if you want to get hats or mugs or whatever, where they're over on our store. And we look forward to connecting again. We'll see ya. Coffee talk.
Hey, you've got to check out the Insurance Dude's Inner Circle, coming soon, where you get extended interviews as well as live coffee talks in our private Facebook group. Join the mailing list today at theinsurancedudespodcast.com. Hey, thanks for checking out the Insurance Dudes. Hey, please subscribe. We got some really great stuff coming out.